November was always going to be a serious month of game launches. It's hard to find anything more amusing than watching a pair of publishing giants bashing away at each other with a pair of huge marketing budgets. That's what we've seen when Battlefield 3 and Modern Warfare 3 faced off in the high street. To an outsider, it would seem that the products are evenly balanced, with Battlefield edging Modern Warfare on the PC, but losing out when played on a console. Imagine our surprise when we took to the streets ourselves and counted the corpses. Remember, all of this data was correct when we began recording, but that could change with time. On the HMV charts, Call of Duty tops the PC, PS3 and Xbox 360 charts. Play.com has Modern Warfare 3 ahead in the Xbox and PS3 charts, but almost level on PC. No such luck when we visited High Street experts Game. They had COD clearly in the lead. So what does this all mean in real-world numbers? Well, Battlefield 3 is a great game. While it might not outsell Call of Duty, it has sold big. By the end of its first week of release, Battlefield 3 had sold a whopping 5 million units. If it was up against any other game in the market, that would be fantastic. So what were the launch figures for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? Well, simply put, it was the biggest game launch ever, taking over $400 million in the UK and US on day one. Over 1.5 million people queued to buy it at midnight on the day of release. When the dust has settled, it's likely to have smashed all previous records. Wow. Microsoft may be the leader in the desktop operating system sector, but in the mobile markets, the situation is not too great. Both Android and iOS have proven to be very serious competitors. In times like this, drastic action is called for. So in an attempt to raise interest, Microsoft PR wizards decided to erect a 55-foot interactive Windows Phone structure in New York City's Herald Square. The oversized smartphone is only a few feet away from the world's largest Macy's store, right in the middle of one of the park's more picnic areas. The structure represents the Windows Phone tile interface. It's covered with screens, and at certain times, the tiles slide out of place, allowing for live stage performances. This event is timed to mark the arrival of 3 new Windows-based devices: the Samsung Focus S, Focus Flash, and HTC Radar 4G. Windows Phone 7 has been on the market for a year, but so far it's failing to generate sales Microsoft want to see. It should be noted that the platform still sold more devices than Google Android did in its launch year. Amusingly, some industry experts claim that Microsoft make more money from Android sales than those of their own platform. This is due to royalty license agreements with more than half the makers of Android phones. With Nokia on board and more phones scheduled for release early next year, we would expect to see Windows Phone 7s to rise in 2012, and that's definitely what Microsoft are hoping for. Is a trip to the Swiss Alps or Sahara Desert not exciting enough? Then perhaps a more exotic destination would appeal to you. How about the moon? It may sound like science fiction, but the laws governing moon tourism are already being developed. New guidelines released this summer are set to protect lunar landing sites and artifacts. They call for a 1,200-acre no-fly zone around the landing site of the famous Apollo 11 mission. The Apollo 17 landing site will also be protected. Under these guidelines, tourists will need to be at least 246 feet away from the spot where Neil Armstrong first walked the moon in 1969. NASA has been getting questions from the almost 24 teams competing for the $30 million Google Lunar X prize. This huge wad of cash will be given to the first privately funded team to safely land a robot on the surface of the moon. This project has brought up some issues regarding the future landing of private spacecraft. Part of the challenge involves a robot rover driving for about 1/3 of a mile on the surface of the moon. Some experts say that before full-scale moon tourism can begin, the preservation effort must be outlined. There are also concerns about people bringing back materials found on the moon. Beth O'Leary of the New Mexico State University has warned about the possibility of moon looting and vandalism. While affordable space journeys are still a fantasy, it's better to make sure the proof of humanity's first space steps are preserved. You never know how soon hordes of space barbarians will start pouring in.